Welcome back to another episode of Strength and Conditioning for eSport Athletes. I'm Strength Coach Freeman. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist through the National Strength and Conditioning Association, as well as a certified personal trainer through the American College of Sports Medicine. So right now we've been talking about different soft tissue techniques and different tools we can use to work on trigger points, right? Do self-myofascial trigger point release and other massage techniques to get our hands and forearms feeling good and prepared for video gaming. Again, this is step one in the four steps that should be gone through in every training session. Step one, again, soft tissue work. Step two, movement warm-up, right? Dynamic warm-ups that you're using, movement preparation. Then you should have your training session, whether it be video gaming, and then some hand strengthening, and then finally your static stretching for recovery. So we've gone through a lot of different tools. We've been using them pretty much for the hands, although many of these tools can be used for other parts of the body as well, which I think we will revisit in future videos. Today's tool is a tool I got in Korea, okay? And if you notice, the shape of this tool is quite different than the other ones we've used. It's flat, right? It comes kind of to this flat end right here. So it will be used in a similar fashion, but slightly differently, because you're not going to be able to work the trigger points the same way. I find it's good for larger areas of muscle that sometimes are too tough to get in with the more fine tip of some of the other trigger point tools. So this one's nice because it's a little bit wider and kind of lets you bisect the muscle. So sometimes you try to use that little tip and you're kind of sliding all over the place, right? If the trigger point's pretty bad or the muscle's very tight, it's harder to get in. This one I feel kind of allows you to get some different angles in and kind of bisect a larger area of muscle and kind of find different spots that you may have missed previously with some of the other tools. It also lets you kind of work in between certain areas a little bit more that you may have trouble with some of the more rounded tools. So let's get started. I'll zoom in and show you how you can use this for your hands. Okay, so here's a close-up of this tool. As you can see, it has this flat tip. Right? Usually the tips are rounded and varying in their circumference or diameter and how pointy they are. But this is a very pointy tip, but it's flat, almost like a paddle or spatula. So how you use it is not too different than what we've covered in previous videos. But as I said, the fact that it's flat allows you to kind of get into the tissue a little bit differently. So on a spot like the outside of the hand here, it's kind of wide, kind of thick. With the smaller tip blends, you kind of have to kind of work different angles around it. Here you can very easily just kind of press right in and really work right into that. And this feels really good, actually. I feel like I can get into this part of the hand much better with this tool than I can with some of the more rounded ones. Again, you can kind of change the angle, right? So you can kind of use the corner a little bit if you feel like it. You can kind of give a little bit of twist to kind of work in. And you can kind of go both ways. So I was kind of going perpendicular, but you can also kind of go parallel. Parallel with the muscle fibers and work in a little bit differently. So that's good too. And you can use the same kind of method working across the palm, right? Holding it, but then also, again, gently moving, kind of change the angle. And again, then you can go back the other way. So recover the hand again, just from a different position. So feel free to kind of play around with that. I definitely feel myself finding trigger points I hadn't previously hit, which is kind of cool. It's always good to find new stuff. That's the benefit of working with different tools. Kind of work into the thumb here. Again, nice and gently, especially on something that's delicate like the fingers, right? You go a little tougher on some of those, really thick parts, meaty parts of the hand, but for the thin, delicate stuff that have a lot of tendons, go easy, go very gentle, right? Remember, the purpose behind this is getting our hands feel good and improve their function and performance in gaming, not to, not to counter that, right? You don't want to make things worse in the hands. So this tool really gets in nicely between that, the thumb and that forefinger. This is a good tool. I really like this one. It's one of my newer tools, but it definitely offers a different perspective on how to work into the hands. And again, you can very gently work into that tissue. But again, this is very gentle. I'm barely pressing, right? You don't want to aggravate the tissue or displace the bone or do anything like that. Just very gently gently rub the skin, rub the tissue. Alright, so again, that's pretty much how it's done. Same format, but because the tip is a little bit different, how you use it will be a little bit varied as well. Always remember to do both hands, right? Keep it balanced, keep it symmetrical. And hopefully in time, if you find some trigger points at the beginning, hopefully you'll see those disappearing over time. So remember, this is step 1 of your 4-step training program. And we will cover the next 3 steps in some of our future videos. Alright, thanks for watching.